Hello, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming in Africa on the Move, your TV show. It's my pleasure to have you back again. I'm back to the studio after 2 months of vacation. I was in Mecca to perform my Hajj, and after 3 weeks, I came here in New York City the next day, and I took my plane. I went to Ivory Coast to see my family, to pick up my family, and back to the studio here. It's the same people here in the studio. You have Patrick, you have Angel, Bradley, same commitment, hard worker, and thank you for this. So I have a guest today. He's a friend of mine. He's, amazing person. He's here today. My friend, Mr. Kann. Hi, Mr. Kann. Thank you for coming.
Hi, Elashtosh. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, wow. I love that when you call me Elash. Okay. You got to do that with a little style, you know. I don't want to be called Elash, you know.
I agree.
Good.
Let's do it again.
Good.
Hello, Eltosh. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And what a blessing to have you as my first guest after performing my art. You know, you have all the blessing.
Thank you. The same blessing will go to you as well and your family. And may Allah accept the Hajj and all the dua and all the prayers that you perform in Mecca.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I wish next year you'll be the one going to Mecca.
God willing. God willing.
God willing.
willing. Yes, inshallah.
It's not only about means too, right? It's about commitment, faith. So if you want it, you do it.
I agree. That's something I strongly believe in. I strongly agree. It's part of the 5 pillars of Islam. If you are able to and you are healthy, you need to perform once in your lifetime the Hajj. I'm looking forward to it, and I need your blessing.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
So let's talk about you now. Because that's why you're here today, right?
Yes.
That's why you're here today. So let's talk about you. So first, you are... Okay, let me read what you have here. You are Assistant Director of Technology for Operation. You work at Grace Kirk School. So tell me about your job, your work. How did you get to this amazing job? Did you do it for passion, or did you see an opportunity doing this job coming to America?
Well, thank you for that question, and thank you everybody who actually is watching this show right now, and thank you to my family, to my dear mother who is here with me at this moment, to my wife and children at home, and to your lovely guests. Actually, I went to school for it. Yes, it has to be a passion, it has to be determination in order to achieve your goal. So I went to school. I went to LaGuardia Community College for my associates, and after that I continued to Colorado Technical University, and I have over 20 years of professional experience.
You are too young, so you start this. I mean, you started this job when I can say you were like 10, 12 years, right?
Yes,
Something
right
like
after
that.
high school, I went to college, and then I set my goal. I wanted to be a very good professional, a good technician, computer technician. Right after college, I had my first internship at Sunnyside Community Services. I was there for 9 years. I started as an intern, but I was promoted and promoted over and over again until I became the IT director of Sunnyside Community Services. So it's my dedication, my passion, and my approach to what I do that led me to this position. So let's come back to your question. At Grace Church School, I started as an assistant technician as well. And over the years, I've been promoted 2-3 times until I became the assistant director of technology for operations. So yeah, it's a determination and knowing what you want in life in general, because I had set my goal and I knew exactly how to reach my goal. It was a hard work and dedication and the family support. That's where I am today.
So there's a little story behind this. When you tell me how you get there, it was after a competition. Can you share this a little bit with our viewers?
Yes, absolutely. Like any other job, the job is posted. Obviously, many candidates will apply for the job, and And after that, there will be a series of interviews and interviews depending on the organization. So Grace Church School, for instance, has many rounds of interviews. So I was selected to be to be interviewed for the first round, where I met, I believe, 3 people in the beginning, and then I was selected again to go back for a second time, and I met another group of 5 people, and I was selected again to come back for a third time. But at that time was a done deal, because that time I met the director, the head of school actually, and offer was made. So it was a big competition. I started with many people, but the process of elimination, qualification, and then again to see who would be a good fit for the organization, so they had to go through that process. And I went through the process. It was a a tough competition. But
what was that specific skills that made you win this competition?
Right. So this is what I believe in, strongly believe in. I think that many people can do what I do, but it's the way that you do it. It's your approach to things, And you have to be competent. You have to know what you're doing. That's number one. That's because that's what you're hired for. But then again, how would you fit in the organization, or your professionalism, your ethic, your work ethics, and your dedication. And for me, a job is not a job. For me, it's a career. So I give my heart and soul to whatever I do in life in general. So, and then the Grace Church School had to see if I know what I'm doing, and at the same time, will I be a good fit for the organization? In other words, how will I get along with the employees? So, which is very important to me. So I do my job with passion.
And you've been there for over 6 years.
Yes, I've been there over 6 years.
Over 6 years.
Yes, if I may just describe what I do at Grace Church School, my role is to oversee the entire network operation in both buildings. So Grace Church School is a pre-K all the way to K. So we have an elementary school and we have a high school. We have 2 campuses. So my role is to oversee that all the network operation, everything that related to technology is working well, running smoothly. And then every year or so we have several projects that I have to manage. Not only I have to maintain what we have, but also I have to supervise and manage.
Update too?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's a big responsibility.
Absolutely, it's a big responsibility.
How do you face the challenge when there is like technical issue? What do you do? How do you fix it?
Well, we have many resources to fix technical challenges. First of all, I rely on my team. I'm not the only one in the IT department, and also we have some vendors, we have some consultants we deal with on a daily basis, and also we have to go to professional development, from time to time to update our skills, our skill sets. So that's what keep us sharp in what we do, because technology changes every 6 to 12 months, as you know. So we have to update ourselves constantly in order to meet the demand.
Why do you like working with the school?
I love it because it's a community-based employer where everybody cares for one another. Grace Church School is an ideal place to work, and I'm blessed to be there. From the administration to my boss, to my team, great people, and to the staff in general. Everybody cares for one another. It's a place to be. So that's why I like being there. It's a blessing to get up every day and go to work, because I spend a lot of time at Grace, more than home. And as employer who spend a lot of time at work more than home, that means a lot about that employer.
So smart people like you, they always want to move on, you see. So do you want to work with other companies where you can improve your performance, your skill, and have more pay?
For me, money is good, but it's not the only thing that drives me. My goal is not only, to have a bigger salary out there, is where I feel comfortable, is where I see I can make a difference, is where my passion will lead me. For Grace Church School is where I'm invested. I've been there for 6 months, and I'm moving up in ladder. 6 years, I'm sorry. 6 years, I'm moving up. And also, they value me. They value what I do for them. And also, I'm bringing change, to the organization. As you said, if I will move to another organization where I can improve my skill set. I am doing that at Great Church School already.
Good.
Because we are changing the technology. The old technology is changing now to new. And then we bring in all the skill sets that I'm looking for. So to me, I'm valued. They have a big consideration for me, and I value my employer. So for now, I'm good, and it's a blessing to be there.
Amazing, amazing. And I believe, your success also depends on the support of your family. You are a beautiful wife, adorable children, and your mom is here today in the studio. This is amazing. This is amazing. I love this. So let's talk a little bit about your family, your wife, your children. I believe you have two children.
I have 3 girls.
3 girls?
Yes.
Wow. You love girls.
Yes.
I love girls too. I love girls too.
Yeah.
I have 2 girls, right? And
Yes.
the third one is a boy.
A boy.
But I always tell my wife, I don't mind. I have 10 girls. They are amazing.
Yes.
Girls, boys, too much problem. My boss, making a mess every day. He's only 2 years, but it's too much. It's too much. Yeah.
It's a lot
So
of work.
tell me about your girls. The first one, the second, and third one.
My first one is 17 years old. She is in high school right now. And
Oh, I never knew that.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Aisha Kann. She's in high school, and my second one, Ami, she's in 6th grade, and the third one, Khadija, she's in 2nd grade. So they're wonderful, lovely children. Love their daddy, their mommy. Love to be around us. So today they showed me dressed up. Say, Dad, where are you going? I said, I'm going to a TV show for an interview. Okay, what channel? We're gonna be here clapping for you.
Wow.
So they are my pleasure. They are actually what I live for, my family and my children. And
your wife?
And my wife, absolutely. So I am blessed to have the beautiful family and people backing me up in everything that I do in life. I have their support, I have their blessing, without forgetting my lovely brothers and sisters as well. So my family every family has its own ups and downs, but it's a blessing to have this family, very supportive family.
At the 6th annual gala of Les Frères Unis, she was Amy, right? Amy Kann was the one who hosted the show.
Yes.
And actually, she stole the show. She was so amazing, so impressive. I would like to show you 2 minutes of the video,
Okay.
and we're going to come back and make some comments.
Sure.
The president of this whole entire organization, His Excellency, Mr. Alpha Kann. For the translation, Je suis venu chercher du travail. I came looking for a job. This poem was written by Francis Baby. Francis Baby was a Cameroonian writer and composer. Je suis venu chercher du travail. I came looking for work is a poem which many people in this audience can relate to. Many came to America for a better life.
All right, back to the studio. So you see that video. She was the one who was hosting the show. She was so impressive. How did she perform so good? Did you help her doing this?
Yeah, Amy was trained at an early age. This is actually her 2nd time as a guest, as a guest speaker. The first year was in 2016. That's when we had her as a host. She talk about the NGO, to talk about the difference between the school system in America and in Africa. She did very well. And for the 2nd time, when I asked her to host the show, and the first question that I had for her was that, will you be comfortable? She said, of course that I will be. I do this every time at school. By the way, she goes to Great Church School too.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so both Ami and Khadija, they go to Great Church School. She said, yes, I speak in front of a large audience. I'm sure I can meet, I can
Wow.
talk freely in your audience. It's not a problem at all. So only thing that I did, I gave her the text. I said, this is what you have to do, and then come do it in front of me once. She was very comfortable, and she surprised me a lot during the gala. I was very surprised.
Yes, I saw you, listening to her, laughing, smiling to her. How were you impressed? How were you impressed?
I was very impressed.
Looking at her.
Yes, I was impressed because what I gave her, she had her own. She added her own, stuff. She added some things into it, to just to entertain the people, which is amazing. And that is actually what is one of the quality of a great speaker. So you give them the text, you tell them what to do, and then they own the show.
She's a rising star, believe me. Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can I have her here in my show as a co-host?
It will be a pleasure.
One day.
She will love to
really
come.
want her
She would love to
here,
be here.
To do something. Mr. Kann.
Yes.
When children are very smart, mostly it also depends on their parents. Mm-hmm. So could you tell me how do you impact your children's education?
Well, my mom, as you said earlier, my mom is she's in the studio with us right now. At a very early age, I was very good in school. I was a top student in all the grades. In Africa, we go by rank. It's not A, B, C ranking, grading. So the grading system there is the first best, second best student. So I excel in every classroom in Guinea. So I was among the best, among the first 5 best of every class in Guinea. That's from first grade all the way to high school.
Wow.
So, and that impacted, a lot of people, first of before even my children, but my brothers and sisters, they always look up to me.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Right. So this is why I encourage my children. This is the reason why I enroll them to Grace Church School, which is a private institution, but I have to do whatever is necessary in my power to provide a good education, for them. And also I support them in every kind of way. So my impact was to be a good student. All my report card. I show them my report card. Tell them, listen up. Growing up, I was a good student.
Wow.
Respectful to my mother, to my father, and very disciplined. So if you follow this
path,
path,
look on you.
Of course, they look up to me.
They want to do like you.
They won't actually exceed what I do, and I like that competition. If the children want to be even better than you, it's a blessing. So, I tell them...
Actually, she was better than you at your gala in the presentation.
And that's a success.
Wow.
She's
goal. Amazing.
That's a success.
She's amazing. All right, brother. Thank you for coming in this part 1 of the show. So part 2 of the show, we're going to talk about NGO. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have Mr. Alpha Kann. He is... again, I'm going to read you again. He's Assistant Director of Technology for Operation at Grace Church School. He's a CEO of NGO Les Frères Unis, and is married, father of 3 beautiful, smart girls. Thank you.
Mohammed Ba was killed in this building, in his own home. He was gunned down by NYPD Emergency Services Unit officers after his mother flew all the way from Guinea, from their home country, because she knew he needed medical attention. She was trying to get him help. Now, as happens all too often in cases where NYPD officers commit excessive force and brutalize loved ones of New York families, none of the officers involved were held criminally accountable. None of the officers involved were held accountable by the NYPD. But when the Mohammed Ba civil trial happened, some of the truth came out. And NYPD officer Edwin Mateo was found liable for using excessive force against Mohammed Ba. Outrageously, the city's attorneys acting on behalf of the de Blasio administration used all of the tools in their arsenal to try and get that verdict overturned. But Mrs. Ba and all of these folks that are standing with her and many New Yorkers across the city fought for a year and a half, demanding that the appeal be dropped. Finally, this year in February, the city was forced to come to the table drop the appeal and settle the case. So we're here today to celebrate Mrs. Ba's leadership and that victory.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is the hardest day for me in my life. I will never, ever forget this day all the time. I'm standing with you today. I really want to be strong with all your support, but I have the heart broke. When I talked to my son, I was in Africa. I feel something happened to my son. I flew straight to New York to see my son. He was here for education. But all the time I believe the family, the school, the neighbors can help the children for education. When I can't see Mohammed, I see more than what I thought about him. I reached out to my friends and family, how to take him to the hospital. We contact some people, they ask me, do Mohammed take mental health medicine before? I said no. Do Mohammed drink a lot? No. Do Mohammed smoke a lot? No. What happened to him? I tell them Mohammed got beat on his head and he have kind of depression now. They say, call the ambulance now, take him to the hospital. I was a Muslim man. Mohammed Ma was a taxi driver. Mohammed Ba was helping everyone in this building if he ever. Mohammed Ba was used to go to school and drive a taxi, take the money and help the less fortunate people in this community here. I want to make sure that the city didn't pay this money. I said, you are talking about money with my son's life. You should apologize. It took us 1 year and a half rallying in front of the mayor office, calling me de Blas day by day. He was forced to set up the case. This is not life for parents. That should not happen to no one. I want this to change now. Not for tomorrow. I want the system to change. NYPD should not be the first response for mental health or emotional distress because they don't come to help, they come to cure. And we don't need that. We need people who can show love and help. If there's anything I can say, the system is not good like this. I lost my 28-year son for no reason. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
First, I just want to say it's amazing through all the pain that I know Ms. Ba has felt. Every time I've seen you, you look regal. You look beautiful. And that's an amazing thing. Thank you so much for helping lead this movement. This is 7 years. There was two poignant things I heard from Ms. Ba. One was that her son was an honor student. I've heard about this case for 7 years. This is the first time I've heard it. All I heard from the media is that he lunged with a knife. This is how they portray it. Muhammad Ba looks like me. Ms. Ba looks like my mother. The second thing that was particularly poignant is the officer said, this is the system here. That's the problem. The system here leads to these kinds of deaths. And that's what we're pointing out. The system is broken. I put out a report today because there has been an absence of a discussion of how to change this system. In my district, Dwayne June, right here, was shot and killed when I was a councilman. We asked the mayor simply to put a task force together to discuss how the city responds to emotionally disturbed persons. The mayor said no. Then Saheed Basu was killed shortly after. He finally said yes. The task force was put together. I thank him for that. It's been over 500 days since the report was due from that task force. My office has put in the task force out, echoing many of the things that we heard. One, preventative care is what we need first and foremost. Many of these families have reached out previously for help for their loved ones and did not get it. Two, if there is an acute problem, 911 should not be what people call. There should be another number that people can call to get the medical attention that they need, not a criminal response. And three, we have to have a non-police response. It is unfair to these families who have the common theme of asking for help. And to be honest, the police officers are not trained to do this. Even the best of intended police officers cannot address these concerns because they are not trained medically. This is the system here, Mayor de Blasio. That's the problem. Let's change it. Thank you.
I think that the time has come that more has to be done. More punishment has to be done for the kind of travesties that our mothers are suffering with the loss of their children. We have gotten comfortable with these kind of press conferences. We almost got a standard rep to present. And so there's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more organized, and more militant behavior that has to be taken. Because if we don't do it, why won't they do it? If there's no consequence to the death of these kids, they're kids for the most part that are being slaughtered like this.
It's an honor to be here. I would like to look back at some special moments.
Starting at the beginning, September 25, 2012, son Mohammed Ba dies from gunshot wounds. This was never justified by the NYPD. A terrible accident that should not have happened. Fast forward to the 21st century, the era where we live in. When I searched for fitting characteristics of our time, I found many different results. For example, a multicultural society. Well, this might be true. I wondered, what kind of multicultural society? Do its multicultural citizens feel safe and respected? If a person of color cannot even safely live in his or her life in New York, one of the most Western cities of the world, what does this even say about our society? Mohammed Ba is one of the most and the many examples. He was in the prime of his life, an intelligent, young.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
What you want?
Justice!
What you want?
Justice!
What you want?
Justice!
When?
Now!
When?
Now!
When?
Now!
Thank you. If Mohammed Ba can get it, shut it down. Shut it down. If Mohammed can get it, shut it down. Mohammed Ba can get it, shut it down. No justice.
No peace!
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 What you want?
Justice!
What you want?
Justice!
When you want it?
Now!
When you want it?
Now!
When you want it?
Now!
If Mohammed can get it,
Shut it down!
If Mohammed can get it,
Shut it down!
If Mohammed can get it,
Shut it down!
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 Shut it down!